Alright, this one here is how our economy works. So we're going to go over that, and I apologize, I'm getting a little long-winded here, so let me kind of break down. I just have so much I want to share. Disclaimer, I am not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer. If you want to make any decisions about your financial affairs, I would strongly suggest that you seek legal counsel, because I'm definitely not one of those two. These are just my opinions and my experiences and my research that I've done, but again, seek legal counsel before you make any decisions. All right, let's jump in real quick about how the economy works. This one should be short. It's not a whole lot I can go over. A lot of you guys should know pretty much how it works, but um, the economy, if you can just maybe see yourself drawing a circle, um, it's basically built up of the exchange of goods and services. Okay, and so the economy basically you have people that actually provide goods and services, which are companies, and then you have employees that work for those companies that supply goods and services. And in order for companies to make money, they have to have customers. In order for employees to get paid, they must fulfill orders and whatever was promised by the companies to the customers. And so the economy is basically all those things that are done within the market, right? And so the market's exchanging goods and services and money and all that good stuff. And then you have banks that actually help lend money to the companies to create products or services to offer to customers that create jobs and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, you don't have an economy unless you actually have goods or services that are needed and that are readily being exchanged between a business owner and a consumer. Okay, and so one of the things that I kind of want to do is kind of go a little bit different, because when I see a lot of kids that are, and I'm kind of speaking to the kids on this and the parents, and when I see a lot of kids, we as parents, we tell you kids, go to college, get a degree, get a good paying job, and then stockpile money back into your retirement accounts, and we'll talk about that on the next one. And then build yourself up so you have a good retirement, and try to keep yourself out of debt and all that good stuff. But one of the things that I notice is a lot of kids don't understand that there's multiple ways that you can benefit in the market and also in the economy. So, for example, let's say they go on the news and they say the economy's bad and unemployment is down, by 3%, and there's a lot of people that are out of work, and there's no jobs out there, and the list goes on. So if you hear that stuff about the economy, then you think, well, man, I'm going to college, and the job market's horrible, so it's not a good time for me to graduate. Maybe I need to stay and get a master's degree or whatever, and or maybe I shouldn't even go to college because the economy's bad and I'm not going to be able to get a job, and I don't want to have all these student loans and I can't even get a job. You got to look beyond what the talking heads are saying. You got to look beyond all the stuff that's on the news and the media. Let me break it down to you so you really understand this. Every person that's put on the face of this earth is actually gifted to do something that nobody else can do. Let me just first tell you that, okay? There is a uniqueness about you that no one on this earth can touch. I think there's 6 billion people on the earth, and nobody has the same blueprint, it's fingerprint, I should say. No one has the same one. So you're extremely unique, extremely gifted, and every person that's breathing has something that they can do that separates them from everybody else. So you got to understand that whatever it is that you have to offer the world is never going to be forced to deal with the recession. What you got to understand is money never exchanges hands, I'm going to say this twice, unless there's first a problem and second a solution. So you want to look at the things that are going on around you, the problems that everybody is talking about at the college campuses, or if you're working a job, they're talking about at the copy machine about all the problems that's going on. You don't want to look at problems like everybody else within the economy. You want to look at problems like, wow, the problems are opportunities for me to be able to solve these problems and get paid for it. Okay? And so if you can change your mindset about the economy and don't look at the economy from what everybody else is saying, but look at the economy as far as your own personal economy. What can you do to make sure that irregardless to what's going on in the economy, that your personal economy is going to always be okay? So let me give you some tips more so on that aspect of it and not just go into a whole bunch of boring crap about the economy. So the first thing is you got to understand that it's more important for you to work on building yourself up than it is just to work a job. Now, you want to give your best on your job. You want to be on time to your job, which I've struggled in that area. But you want to make sure you're on time. You don't want to, take longer lunches than you're supposed to. You want to operate with excellence and integrity and all those things. So those are given. But when you get off the clock, this is what will determine if you're affected by the economy or not. Your personal economy, you should actually have habits where you're reading books on an ongoing basis in the area that you're gifted in. You should constantly talk to people that are working in your area as far as networking. We'll talk about that on another one as well. Just to build relationships. So if your job that you're working on is having a bad year because of the economy, and you've got relationships with other people in your industry and they start laying off, well, you already were smart enough to build other relationships, and maybe you can now transition from a job that may have laid you off to going over to another company and being able to prosper in your own personal economy with a company that's not being hit like the other one is. So it's about how do you be resourceful within your own personal economy so you're not affected by the overall economy. And I know that may seem kind of weird what I'm telling you, but hopefully you can listen to this a couple times and get what I'm trying to teach. So make sure that you're constantly improving yourself. You should always listen to podcasts, read books, hang out with people that are more successful than you in your area, because if you hang out with people that are at a higher level, it's going to take your mindset and your own personal economy to a higher level. Make sure that you are taking the time to exercise faith. There's going to be times in your career where you're being pulled. You can feel it on the inside of you that you're getting pulled to step up and be better. But you don't know what that means, and there's opportunities that you may feel like you don't qualify for. Your resume doesn't line up to it. You don't have the experience, but you feel something on the inside of you that's telling you go for it. You can make it happen. I'm telling you, go for it. Exercise your faith and step out there. The worst thing that can happen is you can fail, you can learn from your mistakes, and then you can use those experiences to help you the next time you try the next venture. So never think that if you fail that it's over. It's learning experiences even when you make bad decisions. And that's the problem that a lot of people have is they get pigeonholed into working one job. They feel like they can't do anything else in the market, and then when the economy shifts, then they're stuck. They feel like they can't get out, and then they blame it on the economy, which is no, it wasn't the economy's fault. It was you weren't resourceful enough in your own personal economy to be prepared for the ups and downs that happen in the economy. And so hopefully again, I'm trying to beat this thing so it can make sense to you, but you have to create habits in your own personal economy that will make sure you can sustain any economy. The other thing I want to share with you, and again, I don't want to get too long with it here, is you want to make sure that you know that there's multiple things that you may be gifted to do in the marketplace. My point, you could be very good with your hands, and so you could have a trade as a heating and cooling guy. Well, because you're good with your hands, you may also be able to be good when it comes to house rehabs. And so if heating and cooling is not working, or the economy is bad and real estate is not selling, and so you can't do a lot of heating and cooling jobs on property, you may be able to go in and use your hands to do some fix-ups. People are not selling properties anymore, so they want to stay in their house, and now they maybe want to fix up their house so they can enjoy their house. So there may be something that you can do because the economy shifted, but now you've got another way to come into the marketplace and still create value, solve problems, and make money. So have the mindset that I'm not going to sit here and listen to everybody else talk about the economy and how bad things are. I'm going to have a mindset that I'm going to constantly get better. I'm going to constantly challenge myself to exercise my faith. I'm going to constantly make sure I'm reading books to educate myself. And I'm going to look at problems as opportunities for me to show up with my gifts and my skills so I can actually increase my personal economy by the opportunities of being a solver or a problem solver as opposed to one that's complaining about how bad the economy is. So that's pretty much all I want to share with you on that. I could go deeper about the economy, but you can YouTube that and Google that on your own. I just want to make sure I kind of threw out the mindset that's necessary for your own personal economy. Have a good one.